What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. This is another edition of Creators in Creatia, where we spend time talking with different creators in media because creators are cool. I am your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined this week by a very special guest, artiste extraordinaire, one of the most talented artists I know, by the way, Ed Rufus Royster. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing all right. We're managing, keeping ourselves busy as we always do.
I feel you. I feel you. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. I enjoy talking to people like you, people who are capable of doing things that I just don't do, that I'm not good at, and who know things that I don't know. So, want to talk to you about some of those things, get to know you as an artist, and what drives you, what what makes you tick, what gets you going, what revs your motor, all those things. So let's just get into it. Like, who is Ed Rufus Royster? Like, how do you see yourself as an artist?
Oh man, okay. That would be really challenging for me to come up with because I am still not entirely sure.
Okay.
Mixed media is the best, most encompassing aspect I can come up with.
How would you describe mixed media then?
Mixed media is taking different mediums of art and mixing them together. No, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's taking your different elements and different ideas and different pieces and just combining them together. You're most of the time when you're looking at a physical painting, not digital and all of that stuff, you might be seeing something that's specifically acrylic painting or watercolor painting or oil painting or a sculpture or a collage. And mixed media is just taking all of those different elements and just saying, all right, why do I only have to stick in one realm? Why can't I do a background that's going to be with this and then collage something on top of it, and then maybe have an element or a corner of it or a figure that's only in charcoal or graphite or some other ink medium that's drawn in. So it's just a matter of just not being limited to only one medium in order to express and tell your story within a piece.
Okay, so when you're creating your different arts that you've, I guess, created, best way to put it, they're normally a mix of those things. So it's never just one thing, or you.
More often than not, yeah. I in college, working in art supply retail, I noticed that they would have like these decorative papers, and I'm like, hey, these would be really cool. What would people use these for? And most of the answer is like bookmaking, or some people were rich enough to use it as wrapping paper, and some other uses. And I was like, hey, I'm a big fan of this Black artist named Kehinde Wiley. Really dope. Does super large pieces most of the time. He also does, your average size stuff, if you want to call it average size. But has like really intricate backgrounds. And if you do look up his pieces, like, they are phenomenal. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. They're really intricate. I don't have the time or patience to do that for oil painting for the background. Mm-hmm. And I realized, oh, snap, these decorative papers could be used to save me a step on the background. Let me use them for that. And over the years, that's just evolved into using them into clothing or elements and shapes and objects that are around my figures or around my characters that allow me to save some level of time, energy, and effort, but also add a further element to make my pieces a little bit more interesting. And then I can go back on top of them and add some extra lines for folds in the clothing or shadowing and lights, and just wing it from there.
Got it. Okay, so what is it about painting in particular? We'll start there. What is it about painting in particular that draws you to it? Why do you like to do it?
I who really knows? Because for most of my childhood and going into high school and then going into college, I ran from color. I liked black and white stuff. I wanted to just draw and let that be it. And then I guess it was just something about adding that extra layer for emphasis popped in, and it helped in crafting a more interesting story and a more interesting image. Painting itself, it just kind of seemed a little bit on the easier side to get it down packed of what you're trying to do versus color pencil, way too many layers, you get carpal tunnel, sitting there holding a pencil for too long. I don't know, I'm just throwing out words. Marker, a little bit too much blending for me. I don't have the patience to learn on the marker fully. I'll use it for bits and pieces. Pastels, just wasn't for me. But the main three of the different paintings, different types of painting, just worked out.
Okay. So you mentioned that you said you ran from color for a while. It was mostly black and white because you were using pencil or pen, or what were you doing before that?
Graphite pencil, absolutely. First thing almost everybody starts off with. Between that or crayons, I guess. They would give you crayons first, since probably won't really poke your eye out as easily with a sharpened pencil compared to a sharpened pencil.
Makes sense. Okay. Because it is actually, now that you mentioned it, interesting for me to see, because I'm looking at a lot of your stuff. I'm actually looking at some of it right now. A lot of them would, honestly, I wouldn't say look just as good, but would still look fantastic if they were in black and white. So it's just like, you can kind of tell that that's one of those things that, I guess you could say how you started and what your first love is just that straight up pencil art. Can you tell me what, can I put this? When it came to adding color and you started doing that, are there certain types of colors that draw you in? Is it more like, you like more warm colors, cold colors? What is it on the color wheel that really gets your attention?
I'm not sure I have one specifically that's going to draw me in. Maybe not more than any others. It probably depends on the spirit and the vibe of the piece, of whatever that's telling me to go for. Nothing specifically that's gonna automatically pull me in. Now, if I have an idea, like most of a really strong series, most recently is like the goddesses that I've been trying to convey and paint. Maybe on that front, gold, because of that power, that structure, that reality, that higher being essence that gold might convey, of royalty, as well as just that general power. That might be one of the first things, and that's why all of them will have gold pieces of jewelry, gold earrings, gold nose rings, gold halo around their head. If they have locks, like gold intricate pieces that are going around in the locks, exactly like that one. So that's probably the closest one that's an immediate. That probably would be outside of just green being my personal favorite color, that's all. But
gotcha.
Surprisingly, don't use much green in many of my pieces, which is weird.
It is interesting. You mentioned your goddess series. I'm assuming this is part of it, this one here?
It's kind of an offshoot. Like I used elements of it, but I probably would. I did have her still kind of classified in that realm, although for most of the goddess series, their eyes are whitened out.
Okay.
And so that's why this one. That's the only reason I'm having a little hesitation. But I probably did put her in a folder for the Untitled Goddesses.
I see. I think I know what you're talking about here. Then give me a second.
No problem. Threw you a curveball. It's okay.
No, it's no problem. I didn't ask before I pulled it up, so Hold on. Let me see. I got it. So you're talking more like this one.
Correct.
Gotcha. So what inspired this series for you? What made you decide this is what you wanted to do? Was it just you did one and you were like, oh, I want to do a bunch more of these, or you had the idea before you did the first one, or how'd that happen?
Well, first it was coming from being really just enjoying painting African American women. That was the most important starting point for me, is just trying to capture that beauty, the regalness, the awesome energy and the vibe. And just over my years learning and growing and gaining such a stronger appreciation over the systems in place that make it difficult for them, and just trying to at least create and craft imagery that can at least give them a little bit more respect, honor, appreciation, praise, and hold them up as these really just important, strong beings in our community. These people, these queens, these maternal figures that and sisters and friends and wives and girlfriends and grandmothers, and just how important they become just by being them.
Okay.
This actually is probably the first one that kicked off the whole thing, so kudos for picking this one up. And this is one of my favorite ones that I probably cried pretty hard when she was purchased, because it was a really impactful piece, so it kind of kicked off the whole thing. So
cool. You said this is the first of this series that you sold. Do you remember your first piece of art that you sold, period?
Ooh.
Is the saying not true? Is it possible to forget your first?
In this case, probably. Only because I'm sure on a technical level, at some point in middle school or elementary school, someone must have, at least it was a trade. Like, hey, can you draw something for me? I got a Butterfinger right here. And it's like, bam. So on a technical level, that would probably be that.
When's the first one that you remember someone giving you an American dollar for?
And it probably, again, is still in that same category where it was just like, hey, I got like $5. Can you just draw this for me? And I'm like, all right, whatever. What's the
earliest one you remember then?
Thinking that. Answer just changed. Because again, I remember I took money to draw Letterman jackets in high school.
Oh, okay. Was that
lucrative
for you in high school money?
I mean, there were a couple of them that I'm like, okay, you never got the jacket. It's whatever. It was probably, I think maybe one person maybe did get the jacket, and I don't even remember which one that was. I do remember in freshman year in college. Ooh, and this one might be a bummer of a story. My English teacher asked me a week before finals to draw some pictures for her. Probably less than a week before finals to draw some pictures for her. And I did. And in the middle of us taking our finals, after I gave her pieces that I felt very strongly about and felt good about, she wrote a note in the middle of a finals test and handed it to me and said, Mr. Royster, I am disappointed by your pieces of artwork. I am still going to pay you your money, but I do not feel like they look. And I'm like, ma'am, that hurts.
Damn.
In the middle of finals.
Yeah, you could have done that afterwards, bro. Like, the hell?
Yeah.
Who was your teacher?
I don't even remember her name. It's
All right.
fine. I
It
just
wasn't a
remember
white
that-
lady,
that
was it?
exchange. Oh no. This was
All right. Because I had that
Yeah.
white lady for English, our freshman year. So
See, no.
Snodgrass was her last name, I think.
No. But this was also before I made my official change, because I also was, as much as I was running from color, around that same time I was also running from art around that age too. So this was me slowly getting the rust back off, trying to practice.
So this is before I met you, of course, because
this is before we met. Yeah. This was before I officially switched back over to actually majoring in art, or not even switched to art as a major.
What were you majoring in before that?
Oh, that's a funny couple of things I hopped back and forth from. Had no idea as I graduated from high school, so I just said, I like words. Let me write down English. So I don't know why I was an English major. Got there day one, or no, not even day one. I guess it was a couple of days before orientation and all of that stuff. My mom convinced me to switch over to business administration, but
because you were at FAMU.
Yep. And she thought, hey, if you ever do go back into art, at least you know business on there to capitalize off it. I was like, all right, whatever, it would be cool. But it was already too late to get into the business school, so they were just like, hey, just take the general classes, we'll reevaluate you and try to get you in later. Cool. Switched over to psychology soon after, because I was like, hey, I like getting in people's heads, this could be fun. And then as that first semester was going on, and I'm like, I'm not finding happiness, what do I need to do? And luckily my brother had a whole bunch of like random magazines. And I was just like, you know what? Let me just scroll through these magazines. Oh, that's a picture. I like it. Let me go ahead and draw it. Oh, let's start this collection and start this pile back up of pieces that I do still have. Actually, as I was unpacking, I did find them back there.
You should grab it.
Huh?
You should grab one real quick.
Oh, then that means I got to get up and then people get to see my PJ pants that I did not anticipate switching out of. But okay, these are Ewok pants. Okay,
yeah. I think the people would be interested to see him. I am. And
so
I'm in charge, so that's what I get to do here. Go ahead.
I mean, I could have ignored you, but
you could.
I'm just gonna show you the good ones that I'm proud of. So
you can show me all
that Ludacris I thought was pretty good. Let's see, LL and J I thought were successfully done well.
Nice.
Pac and Biggie, and some Air Force Ones, some
Nelly, yeah. The Nellyville album.
Let's see, I thought Luther came out okay. KG, of course.
Up, you froze.
And
there we go. You back. Gotcha. Okay.
KG and Bones. When I started trying to combine some pieces together, and I thought that,
you got the trigun going. Got you.
Again, experimenting with color pencil, and I'm like, never again. Oh, those are terrible. That brings back bad memories. Nope.
Okay, you can stop going through. It's fine. Fine.
All of these people, I'm like, I don't know, or they were just random girls in magazines, and I'm just like, whatever. Oh, that's Melissa Ford. Okay.
Man, that's a throwback right there. You said Melissa Ford.
Right. And yeah, I mean, some things like some crafted pieces of randomness that I tried to come up with.
Okay. You describe that what you do is mixed media. When you do that though, do you know how you would define your style of art? Or can it be
something?
Defined? Are you undefinable? Are you something else entirely?
It's definitely in the realm of illustration. It's like illustrative portraits. Me trying to test things out a little bit. I don't have a I'm failing as an former art teacher and as a person who knows art, and I'm supposed to have an artist statement. I'm completely failing on how to come up with words to describe anything that I do, and let alone come up with an artist statement. So, yeah, drop the ball on that one. Hope my former students, aren't watching. Luckily, I didn't make them do artist statements, so I'm not gonna hold that against me, at least.
Yeah, I just saw something though, and I'm like, yeah, I need to show the people this one. But it's mostly just because it's me. And yeah, this one right here.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a fun one.
I don't know if you knew this, Ed. You sound like you don't know this, so I'm gonna just tell you again. You a bad motherfucker. Like,
thank you.
Just there's some shit I see that you do, and I'm in awe, because it's like it's often something that I've never seen before. Is my point. Like I see a lot of people draw characters and all that kind of stuff. I've never seen Batman look like this before.
That's one of the things I know I'm confident about with what I do in terms of the decorative paper, is that no one else really uses it the way I do. But the challenge comes in that it's just really hard to photograph it. So people will see pictures of it on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. A few times I posted on Twitter, and it doesn't come off as interesting, compelling, or effectively as it would in person.
Right.
Yeah. Like with this one, that is pretty much perhaps one piece of paper of the cutout. Like I would basically have just cut out the shape of Batman and then just drew on top of it. For this one, to give you your blacks, your whites, and then just maybe the background was blacked out. There might have been another sheet of paper, maybe. So, yeah, but it's kind of hard to convey like fully what it is and what's going on, and especially with some of the other pieces, even the ones you've shown, where it's like, yeah, you can kind of see there's an intricate design in there, but you can't see it's like intricately cut paper in some of these cases that are plastered on in these certain locations, which is why on the Instagram I did do some like time-lapse video so people can try to get a little bit more of an idea of it, but which are fun. And actually looking back on them, I'm like, I like these. This kind of gives me hype a little bit that I do that. Yeah. That's me. Yeah.
You be TikToking now or no?
No, I am still holding out of stubbornness as an older person to not download and get an account for TikTok, even though I have come across some really great videos that I will occasionally go back to just to rewatch, but I will still stand firm on avoiding the download.
I feel like what you do would actually translate well to TikTok is my point.
You're right.
As someone who's been told they also need to start ticking and talking, I can tell you they're right, but I don't want to
talk to ticks. Got it.
Yeah, but I don't want to. So, I mean, eventually I know I'll give in and go ahead and do it. And so I'm saying, as someone who will eventually give in and do it, give in and go ahead and do it.
Damn it.
I know. I hate it too. I hate it.
Fuck. Whole new skill set I have to learn, but okay, fine.
Yeah, I know. Same here. Okay. But yeah, your style is definitely, like I said, something I've never seen before, and I'm like, shit. Okay, hold on. We gotta look at this airbender here, cause bruh, like, goddamn, like, Nick.
I mean, I like the show. It's one of my favorites.
I mean, clearly.
I mean, there's he's all the way there. There's another Aang.
This is fucking amazing, dude. Like,
This one's actually for sale too. If anybody wants to go to my page, there's a sale
Hold on,
going on.
Let me. What's that page? Tell me what that page is, man.
Oh, Instagram.com/Art of Rufus. You know, if anybody just wants to just buy stuff, it might be kind of cool. You know, just trying to make space so I could do more art and pay bills. You know, whatever happens, as long as they all can find a new home.
Okay. So you said it's so at Instagram.com/Art of Rufus. Is that what you said? It's there.
Yeah.
That's where they go.
They could go there. Just go there, take a look. There's some stuff on there still. Some stuff that's ready to be sold. Shipping for most of them. Shipping's included as well. Whatever that price is,
you go there. So you want them to click the link in the bio, right? And they can go there.
Well, the Instagram bio. No, just go straight there and then just message me. That's all you got to do. Just shoot me a message. Say, hey, just
shoot him a DM.
This is what I want.
Yeah.
How do I give you the money? Here's my address, and I will ship it to you.
After they give you the money.
I mean, absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
Transaction.
So go to his IG, slide in his DMs, and say, "I want this right here." Yeah, go right there. Instagram.com/Art of Rufus.
It's right there.
Check out that shit.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
It's right there. There it is. It's right there.
Yeah. So, Mr. Royster, I got a few more questions for you. A few more things that we need to know about you. First one, probably the most important question you've ever been asked. Certainly the most important question I'm going to ask you today.
Dang it, I hate important questions.
Yeah, I know. This is a heavy one, so be ready.
I hate heavy ones. Okay.
Yeah. What's your favorite dinosaur?
I think I'm pretty basic. I'm gonna just stick with the T-Rex, probably because of Jurassic Park. Although the Velociraptors are pretty cool too, and especially but it's mostly because of the clever gal. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. T-Rex is a solid answer. Velociraptors are my favorite. It's one of those where it's really is the clever girl thing, not because he said it, just because of them being clever like that. I'm one, even in video games, I'm one when there's a stealth option. I love the idea of being able to take everybody out in the room without anybody knowing I was there. It's just kind of, it's my thing.
Although sometimes I kind of want that last one to find out, just so that they can have that
moment of fear,
full rush of fear of what have I missed this entire time. And then they turn around.
All of a sudden they look up and they notice everybody else in the room is dead, and they're just standing face to face with the one who did it. And I get you. Yeah, I might start incorporating that. You're right.
Yes.
Right. I don't know.
That is my gift to you.
It does give me some satisfaction on knowing like an entire room was taken out and nobody ever knew I was there. It's just
I do understand that, but it's something, like I said, I think maybe it's with Ghost of Tsushima when I've done it, where it's that last one.
Well, they respond properly. That's the thing in Ghost of Tsushima. So
but it's just that how that last one, as you're just rushing towards them, and it's like, oh, this is my moment of my entire life flashing before my eyes, and then it's the stealth kill. Yeah,
it's one of those. Like I said, Ghost of Tsushima is one of those games where they respond that way, so you get that satisfaction from them. By the way, man. Okay, never mind. We'll talk about Ghost of Tsushima another time because I miss playing that actually, and I think I want to hop back in that multiplayer again.
I agree.
Anyway, what is the first creative experience you remember having?
So kind of a double answer once again, in that I do remember how some of my older drawings, very, very early drawings, looked, where there's no definition of it. Go straight from a neck into the arm, and it's like super huge hands, and everybody's just facing forward. But I do recall when my mom bought me a small booklet. It was like maybe that big, wire bound, had like one of those clear pouches on the front for your pencils, and I think it came with pencils and maybe a couple markers and whatnot. And it was how to draw Marvel superheroes.
Oh.
And so that one I distinctly remember. And then my mom always tells the story very incorrectly because she forgets that she bought me the book, because she thinks I'm the one that came up with the idea of articulating joints and using straight lines and then circles for the joints and this and that. I'm like, no, I got it from the book because you bought me the book, Mom. Thank you.
She's proud of you, man. She thinks you did it all on your own. That's how mothers are. They think we figure out everything, Arnold, because they love us and they're proud.
I know, but it's like, Mom, this is because of you. You don't
I'm about to say, you got to remind them. Like, I talk to my mother all the time about stuff when she talks about like what I'm doing. I was like, I'm so proud. I'm like, you realize this happened because you used to take me to movies all the time, and it's just like, I fucking love movies thanks to you. Like, this is you started me on this, but
you're the one that, against my will, was like, hey, I'm going to put you in this Saturday morning at 8 or 9 a.m. art class, and I'm like, I want to watch cartoons. No, you're going to this art class. And I mean, even now to this day, I'll look back and be like, yeah, that was the best decision. Like, that taught me stuff. I appreciate you for that, as much as I was sometimes fighting it those days. Because cartoons, 90s, 70s, 90s, Saturday morning cartoons, kind of hard to beat. But so it was really that. X-Men and Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's sad.
Life with Louie.
Was on there too.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I remembered from Fox.
The Tick,
yes. Good times. But yes, so I distinctly remember at least that helping to give me the idea at that age of how to construct the general volume of how a human body is going to be and look as it's in different positions. So you can get your Spider-Man and your Cyclops and your Wolverine and get the proper head spacing. And a lot of stuff that prior to me having a formal, I'll say out of school art class, because unfortunately in elementary and middle school, you may not necessarily have time, especially as a former middle school art teacher, that you end up getting a little bit more of how to construct those figures in the human body much better at a much earlier age than I think she anticipated. So,
okay. You actually mentioned something to kind of trigger something else in my head. So you mentioned hands. And it's funny because before I want to say this was like 2011, the first time I took any kind of class in art that required me to draw hands. And I realized how fucking difficult that is. Maybe you can explain this to me. Why are hands so fucking difficult to draw?
Let's see. The honest answer, I have no idea. My teacher answer is probably going to be more along the lines of you are trying to grasp something that is very intricate, very subtle, very succinct in how one line that's too thick or too thin in the wrong placement will cause one finger to look like a completely different hand. That just all those necessary details, it's just they're very subtle changes.
Is that why AI can't get it right?
I mean, hey, they even AI has been improving lately, so we've lost that battle, or we're losing ground on that battle.
I was actually going to ask you how you feel about AI art. We've never had an extensive conversation about this, so I'm just wondering, what is your opinion about AI art?
I'm flipping to having more problems with it now.
Okay.
So initially, I was optimistic on it being used as yet another tool.
As a tool, right? Not a replacement.
Right. I was optimistic that people would not take advantage of it. Stupid me, I'm a dumbass. And that artists would, and most artists still are using it that way. Yes. Of respecting it, of using it as a tool towards a final step, not the final step. They are still grafting their own creativity, their own ideas. They're adding on top of it to finalize it, to make it more interesting and more of theirs. The problem I'm having now would be and I don't even want to sound like I'm gatekeeping by saying non-artists, but by having
people who don't respect art are not artists. So it's
Yeah, yes. By having them as well as managers and superiors within a company who are focused more on getting things done efficiently and over the actual full quality and artistry of it. So I saw a post about like one of those mobile video games where though it's like a very simple video game, of course, but they'll have those moments of like the characters will have their more intricate art versions of them that you could look at and be like, oh yeah, this is what, you know, this barbarian actually really looks like that I've been playing with. So previously they of course would just have concept artists and actual character artists who actually construct and get these pieces and these character designs fine-tuned and then be able to put them out. Their post was talking about now that because of AI art, it's becoming expected and common that they'll just use those prompts and then just a little bit of Photoshop just to clean it up a little bit and then boom. So now you're taking something that of course on an efficiency scale might take a couple of weeks to be done and now only takes a couple of days. And like even this person was saying he felt he was much better than another artist at the same company because of that week, with that multiple week window, that he's able to get his stuff done quick at a quicker pace and it looks better. Whereas now it's shortened the gap for that other artist, and now all I have to do is just type in prompts all day and then just fine tune the prompts, and then there we go, we move on to the next piece. And while on a competitiveness of myself where I'm like, yeah, shorten the gap between the two, I could see myself in either position. I also don't like that it's just more of the bosses are praising the second artist more now because they're able to get the stuff done and out, and nobody cares about what the nature and honor, or I don't want to sound like Zuko, but the honor of the art is of being able to craft something to translate it from your head, your higher self, your spirit, whatever you want to call to it, through your hands into another physical piece of medium, and allow it for the world to see. And instead you have the AI art that is now not only stealing from the other artists and then now stealing from many artists in general, and then using that as its sole product that comes out of it and claiming it all as their own. That's where the problem comes in.
Right. That makes sense. All right. What mainstream creations out there really excites you? What gets your blood pumping?
I mean, I'm all over the place. I mean, I do anime. I watch anime a little bit. Video games, movies. I mean, as of this recording, the trailer for the second Spider-Verse movie just came out today, and I've already watched that 2 or 3 times, and I'm very much excited for everything about that. Let's see. I mean, comic book movies in general. Blue Beetle trailer dropped yesterday as of this recording as well, and that was fucking phenomenal. I don't know the last time I've been excited for a DC film, but that's it right there. I watched it multiple times.
You weren't excited for Black Adam? The hierarchy of power shifted.
I mean, it sure shifted to the trash at this point.
Shazam had a dragon.
Well, I still haven't seen that one, but
me neither. But that's not the point. We're not talking about me right now.
I have not seen the second Shazam, and even with the dragon, the fact of Black Adam and The Rock messing up the production ideas that they would have had for that movie. Also,
did he really, or are they just looking for a scapegoat because their film didn't do well?
I'm fine with of listening to not to believing that The Rock did not want Shazam or Black Adam to, one, be a formal villain, which is an issue.
Yeah.
2, to not deal with his appropriate opposite character of Shazam, which would have made for a much better movie for his own movie, let alone for Shazam 2. And him wanting to somehow be on the same plane of Superman. I will believe all of that because The Rock does have that kind of ego, which rightfully deserved at some points. But hey, you're coming into somebody else's world with these comic book things. You can't be the one that's controlling.
See, the thing is, that's what I'm thinking too. He's in somebody else's. He's playing with somebody else's toys right now. I think people are giving him too much credit for how much power he actually has. Is my point.
But I think at the time in which because of how long Black Adam was in production, because we're going on, I think a little bit more than 10 years since he was cast in the role. Mm-hmm. Between that, how his busy schedule is, and DC Warner Brothers wanting to take advantage of the star power because they assumed that they would be able to make money from it. I think they were at that time willing to bend to his will at each and every turn in order to make it work. That was part of their mistake. I think at this point, where now that the movies come out, you got a new show, new head honchos who are more willing to say, for the creative integrity of what we're doing, we can't go the route that you were trying to take us down to center Black Adam in the DC universe, because he's not that kind of character.
Yeah.
That it's just now coming to place to be like, hey, let's break on this right now. We gotta slow down because we ain't going the right way. You about to drive us off a cliff, sir. So
okay, I'm not going to try to argue back and forth with you about it. I just wondering what your opinion was. We have other things to talk about, so I'm not about to argue with you about The Rock. I can argue with people about The Rock all day, every day, because I honestly defend him all the time with people, and it's getting kind of frustrating. But I just think, people blame him a lot for things. It's just like, you realize, like, most of the time y'all are blaming him for shit, he's actually not in charge. Like, the people in charge are the ones that make the decisions. Like, it's just like, he still, even if you say, like, he's all this, has the star power and all that in Hollywood and can make that money, he still doesn't get to make that last decision. We used to talk to people about this in wrestling all the time too, and they're talking about how this guy did this and this guy. I'm like, until recently, Vince McMahon's the guy in charge. like, why are you blaming this dude? He tries, yeah, but he can't do whatever he wants. Anyway, what lesser known creations out there excite you? We talked about mainstream. So what are the stuff that's not really up there on everybody's radar that gets you excited?
That is a question I have no idea exactly how to answer, because I feel like I am behind on most stuff. So by the time it gets to me, I think most people have already come across it. I guess it's mainstream to some extent, at least because it was a major studio that created the game. But at least right now, I'm very much enjoying the hell out of playing Forspoken.
Really? Okay.
So the action and transversal and even the story is really good. Like, I'm probably close to completing it at this point. I made it to a part where it's like, hey, if you go beyond this, you're pretty much at the end game now. Do you want to go double back and do anything else? So I'm like clearing out a lot more of the parts of the world that I didn't do before, just to get my stats up so I can just walk in to the final boss and whatnot. But it's, even before I did it, that I text my friend who was like really gung-ho about defending the game, mostly against the, let's say, manosphere, the misogynistic incels out there that were just bashing the game just because it was a black woman. And even him, I just text like, yo, this game actually would have made a hell of a series if they had, like, an actual TV series, if they had held off on it. Like, I would have enjoyed watching the hell out of this. Like, this would have worked very well.
Yeah, the concept of it seemed really cool to me. I haven't actually played it myself, but I had seen a bunch of people like going off about it. I'm just like, and I haven't yet seen exactly why they don't like it. And it was, a lot of people were saying that the story itself wasn't good, and I'm like, okay, but what is it about the story? The problem is, I'm like, I might play it, so I don't want to spoil myself. So like, it's hard for me to really get real information out of people as to why they didn't like it. But
yeah, I enjoyed the story. That's all I'll say about it. I enjoyed it. It may be the first couple minutes, first couple missions before you get to that world. It's maybe a little on the slower side as it's building up, and you're like, okay, can we hurry it up? And that problem is probably amped up because there are just a few quality control aspects that stand out a little bit. And by that I just mean you might have two characters talking in game, and it does the unnecessary fade to black and then fade back in, and then fade to back and fade back in. Or
That just sounds like Square Enix.
that's exactly probably what it is more. And then there's also another annoying thing where it's just like this: somebody will say something and it's this really long, awkward pause.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other person will respond, and you're like, okay, you guys should have cleaned that up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel necessary. Or at the end of the dialogue and the conversation, that same awkward pause, and you're waiting, you might even be pressing forward on your controller, like, okay, let's get out of the cutscene now, let's get out. And then they finally take off, and you're like, okay, these minor gripes and frustrations that you guys could have tightened up.
Square has a habit of putting games out that aren't actually ready yet when they put them out, and then you look up and it's like, oh yeah, day one patch, even though the game went gold 2 months ago.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like,
yeah. But the combat is fine. The being able to just run around the world and the parkour and going up mountains and all of that stuff and going across water once you unlock different things, like it's dope. Like you feel fun and enjoyment. And I for one time in the world, I do not mind running past opponents, because it's just like, one, I got places to go, or I'm trying to get to a certain location right now just so I can get my stats up. But two, it's fun to run around. Like I don't have to stop and fight you. It's okay. I mean, I know I would wipe the floor with you, but you're not worth my XP right now. It's okay. It's
kind of sounds like me when I was, not when I first got it, but like at certain points when I was playing Spider-Man on PS5, it's like, it's fun to just swing around the city as Spider-Man. There's things happening, there's crimes happening. I'm like, yeah, but I'm swinging right now and Spider-Man, you know?
Exactly.
Thwip. Yeah, I like to just, swing around and just be Spider-Man right now. And
yes,
y'all try to interrupt that. Fuck you.
I would put that in the same realm. Yes, it is not as good as Spider-Man by all means, but it's still fun to get around the world.
Definitely looking forward to the new one.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
They're saying September. We don't know.
I hope the fuck so.
Yeah, they're saying September. They're also saying there's a PlayStation showcase coming in May. We still haven't got that officially announced yet, but they'll probably talk about it then, give us a release date. They're saying September because old dude who plays Venom tweeted it out and then tried to take it back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tony Todd. I remember that mess up. Tony, what are you doing?
Oh, man, he's just like, yep, I'm going to disappear now until you say my name 3 times.
Or if you escape death off of an airplane or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Either one.
Oh, Tony.
What does creativity mean to you?
Yeah. What does it mean? It is, I guess, kind of mentioned earlier, a channeling of some higher energy and inner idea into something of just translating it into something from an ethereal, unseen plane into something that we all can treasure, appreciate, witness. Now that can be, again, any level of art that you want to have, any version of it, if it's painting and drawing or cooking or dancing or poetry or singing or writing, filmmaking, any of all those things that you are taking from somewhere else, be it in your heart, your soul, your mind, and finding the means and the way to translate it and transfer it outwards.
Okay. What inspires you?
I always hated this question. Let's see. It's really just a little bit of everything. I don't have a solid, simple answer necessarily. Depends on the piece. It depends on the moment. It depends on my mood. It depends on the music I might be listening to, or the podcast I'm listening to, or the movie I'm watching. It depends on where I am, and if I'm walking through an art gallery and I just see other pieces that inspire me to take bits and pieces from of how I can incorporate this part from this thing that I'm thinking about for this piece, or if a song is giving me a particular energy or a color or a vibe in my head, that I'm like, how do I translate this down into something else to give it a soundtrack, or have a soundtrack to this visual idea? Or if I'm scrolling through Instagram and I'm just like, oh my God, she's beautiful. What can I do that's a translation of this photograph? Or yeah, what comic book or TV show or a video game character that I grew up with that's nostalgic? How can I give it reverence and show my appreciation and do an my take or my update of that character or that moment or that scene or that game? So it's inspirations anywhere and everywhere.
Okay. Well, you say it can come from everything. Do you remember what inspired you most recently?
Ooh, man, this gonna sound self-indulgent. I was scrolling through.
Were you looking at yourself naked in the mirror?
Almost.
Okay. You're looking at your
I finally just sold. Whoa. She had already put down a down payment for this Pokemon painting I just did a couple days ago.
I saw that with the evolutions thing, right?
Yeah, those two, and this was completed like back in May or June last year.
Goddamn.
Okay. Because sometimes I work pretty fast, you know. I know it gets the best of some of us, you know, sometimes, where you just work a little too quickly and poof, you kind of made a happy accident, a happy mess. You know, you're supposed to take your time and warm things up a little bit, and then you just work a little too fast because you get too excited about some stuff. So,
it sounds like Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that's what you got out of it. Okay. But no, that does happen sometimes with my commissions, where I'm like, all right, I will give myself a 2-week window, and then I knock it out in like 3 days. And I'm like, because just sometimes I just get the vibe, get the feeling, and especially if I'm not working on my day job right now, then that becomes my focus. So knocked it out a little quicker than she expected. And I think she also had some other financial things going on. And she's like, all right, cool, no worries. I can work in installments, or whenever you're ready, just come get it. Of course, she tried to occasionally be like, hey, can I get like a sneak peek? Because I just really want to know. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I know what happened the first time I painted this for you and you cried. I'm going to make you cry again. This is fine. Like, or you're not going to get a sneak peek so you can prepare yourself. No, I need you to cry.
I need the tears, and I need real, genuine tears. This is how this.
Oh, she cried. It was great. She tried to hide it. You know, it was beautiful. So it was that, and then when I was talking with somebody else, I told them about the first piece I did for her, which was a Leafeon. So I had to scroll back through to try to find it on my Instagram, and I was like, oh man, some of these pieces, especially during the pandemic, oh, you really are.
Yeah, you a bad motherfucker. Yeah, you a bad motherfucker.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Then I got to some of the time lapse videos again. I can dig it. But yeah, I got to some of the time lapse videos, which always fascinate me, just because I enjoy watching them of other people, and so for the fact that I also created time lapse videos that show where you're able to see from a blank canvas to the cutouts to the tracing to the gluing and adhering, and then the painting and drawing on top of that to a completed piece is just fascinating. And then on top of that, it's like, hey, that motherfucking me. Oh, shit. So that now that I have potentially some time off right now. I'm like, let me hurry up and unpack some things and maybe scroll through some of my folders of like inspirational reference pieces and whatnot that I can use, and maybe dig around and see what can I do that doesn't force me to have to go out and buy more supplies right now, because I have canvases and the paints, and let me just see what I can do at this very moment. So probably within the next couple of days, that might be it. So most recently, that's what's inspired me, I guess. That and the fact that I could use money. Go buy art.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. Where can I go?
Instagram.com/artofrufus or artofrufus.com/pixels. I think that's the other website. It's on my Instagram. You can go there. It's a link on the Instagram.
Artofrufus.pixels.com.
There it is. Thank you. You can go there, and you can also you can go to that spot, and they can print prints for you off of some of those pieces that are on that website. Or you can DM me about the Instagram pieces that are currently on sale right now. Either way, it'll be glorious, because you'll have artwork that will make your walls look as wonderful as, well, maybe not as crowded as mine, but hey, it can be crowded if you want. So there's that.
Cool. All right, so we talked about what inspires you, but like what else puts you in a creative state of mind, especially when you're struggling to create?
What puts me in a creative? I mean, that one's a lot tougher to narrow down fully for me, because part of it is it's such a delicate balance of knowing when and how to force it and power through versus letting it come naturally. And I think there comes times where you're just like, I know deep down I want to create something. How you go about that afterwards is where it might get a little bit of a challenge, but at least knowing that at that starting point, I want to create something. From there, it just becomes the stubbornness to just stick through it. And I've had to remind myself numerous times in the midst of a piece that you're just gearing up to break the water of this piece being where you want it to be. You just got like 5 more steps to do, 3 more steps to do, 1 more step to do. So I've done like this Thomas Jefferson or Lafayette from Hamilton painting.
From Hamilton, okay.
Yeah, from painting.
Not the true
no, definitely not. But for both of those, but especially the Lafayette, where I got the main skin tone down, and I'm looking at it like, man, this is just not looking great. I'm not liking this. Then I go back through with the darker skin tone. I'm like, this is still, I might just have to bail on the whole thing. This is just not working for me. And in the light skin tone, I'm just like, dog, I might really just need to just call it a night. And then I go in there with the black, and I'm like, boom, that just sealed the whole thing. Got the black in there to just solidify where the darkest the darks are and where the lightest the lights are when I add the whites. And it's just like, oh, okay, you were about to bail like 3 steps ago, and took just this one more thing that you were so close. You know, what is that from? Rogue One. We were this close to greatness. And
my favorite Star Wars movie.
It's a very good one. I do have some critiques about it, but it's that last third act.
I mean, so do I, but I have less critiques about that one than I do about any other one. So
I will stand with you there. I also do really like The Last Jedi for the most part as well.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
We talked about this? Like, I'm not a Star Wars person, really.
You are more Star Trek. That's right.
Yeah, it's one of those things for me. Like on paper, everything Star Wars, I should love it, but I just find myself watching them and just being like, I don't care.
it doesn't always translate. Science fiction versus science fantasy. There's a solid trend. There's
But
a
I like
solid,
fantasy, so it's just like, you know.
but it's science fantasy, and therefore it's combining, the fantasy and the science that you like separately, but it's maybe not like it's not. It's like a Reese's cup. You like peanut butter,
honestly,
you like jelly, or peanut butter and chocolate. Maybe you just don't really like a Reese's cup though. See, so
there's the problem with that thought. Is if you play D&D with me long enough, you'll find out that I fucking love mixing the two. So
I'm still waiting.
Yeah. Well, y'all got to finish what you're doing right now first. Y'all still, you still trying to save the world from, people that's trying to destroy it first before you leave Earth.
Overrated.
Well, not Earth, but
overrated. But yeah, it's just that realization that look, you're that close sometimes, and you just need to just see it through and power through. You can complete it, and once that is done, then you can move on to something else. As much as you're trying to bail out right now, don't, until you've driven this thing into the wall and the wheels have grinded off and it's completely lost all momentum because it is just completely ruined. Keep going. So,
okay. What's something you know now that you wish you knew at the start of your creative journey?
Probably what I just said. I kind of was tailoring that answer so I can knock out two birds with one stone.
Got you. And that was very clever of you, and I appreciate that.
Efficiency.
I do appreciate efficiency. All right. So, Ed, we're getting into the final part of this conversation. Ooh. And we're going to do a little bit of a rapid fire here. So we're going to play a game that I'm sure you're familiar with called This or That.
Okay.
I have a couple rules. Well, 4 rules to be exact.
4 rules. All right.
For all this. Number 1, you must answer.
Okay.
Number 2, you cannot say both.
Okay.
Number 3, you cannot say neither.
Oh.
Number 4, no explaining, no elaborating. You just answer and we move on.
Okay, here we go. I think I'm ready.
You sure?
Possibly. Let's go.
All right. We're going to do 10 of them.
Ooh, 10. All right. Is there a time limit? Am I just trying to power through them all as quickly as possible, or do I get time to think?
No, just
okay. So
answer.
I don't have to rush it.
Well, I did say rapid fire, but I'm not going to put an actual number on the time limit. But
oh, that'd be cool if we could put a timer up right there. But all right.
Yeah, it would be, but I don't have that technology. Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Bad breath or bad body odor?
Bad breath.
Fruits or vegetables?
Ooh, fruits.
Zombies or vampires?
Vampires.
Start work late or leave work early?
Oh, leave work early.
Art museum or history museum?
Art.
Sneezing or coughing?
Oh, sneezing.
French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
Ketchup or ranch?
Only ketchup. Oh, yeah, it's just ketchup. I've never done ranch.
See, what I tell you about elaborating. All right, last one. Sort by price or sort by rating?
Oh, I go price.
All right, good.
Frugality!
All right, that's it. That'll be it for our conversation today. Thank you again, Ed, for doing this. I really appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you. It makes me feel special. Thank you.
You are special. You are.
Oh, special Ed. Oh, where's my name? It's not showing up on there. It's not. Oh, damn it. I should have changed.
Oh, you want
to?
There you go.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, Ed Rufus Royster. Special Ed. There we go. Boom.
Mm-hmm. Barney sang a whole song about it. You are special.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That lovable dinosaur.
But yeah, thank you for being here, and thank you all for watching. Thank you very much. Also, just know you can catch us live every day, Monday through Friday at lunchtime. That's 1:00 Eastern, noon Central for the Creatia Conversation. You can catch us live at that time in a couple of places. One of them being Twitch. Twitch.tv/Creatia World. You go there, you can watch us there, and if you're there, give us a subscription. And if you have Amazon Prime, it means you have Prime Gaming, which means you get a Twitch subscription for free. So we would, appreciate you doing that and giving that sub to us. You know why? Because Jeff Bezos is just rolling in the money right now, Scrooge McDucking it right now. So give that Scrooge McDuck Bezos money to us. Or if you're not us, give it to us Twitch subscribers, Twitch creators somewhere. But, I give it to us. I know you want to be my sub. Just do it. Also, you can catch us also live on YouTube at youtube.com/Creatia World. You all right over there?
Yes. Whole DS conversation. Go on.
Yeah. So youtube.com/Creatia World. We're live there also. And while you're there, you can be my sub there also. Just do it. I know you want to. While you're there also, just ring that bell though. Ring that bell so you get notified every time we put up a new video, every time we go live. So yeah, ring that bell like a good little sub. Also, you can go to Pornhub and watch us there at pornhub.com/model/Creatia World. That's where all the good subs are. Go there. It's also Matt's favorite place for you all to watch us. So do that. Make him happy. Because, happy Matt is a fun Matt. Also, if you want to support us financially, a good way to do that is on Patreon at patreon.com/Creatia World. You go there with just $1, you get a lot of our extra stuff that we do every month. You got Return to Wrestling with myself and the Warden Matt Ritter, where we're going through old WCW stuff. Right now we just finished Road Wild 1997, so we're moving forward with that. Next will be Fall Brawl 1997, and like I said, all the Monday Nitros leading up to it. It's a fun period of time. Matt hasn't seen a lot of this, so it's really fun to bring him through all that. He hates Hulk Hogan, so every step of the way seeing Hulk Hogan succeed over and over again is making him so angry and frustrated, and honestly, his anger sustains me. Also, Multiverse, myself and Mara the Shark Watkins, we're making our way through a lot of animated comic book movies. Right now we're doing DC stuff. We just did Green Lantern, Beware My Power. Fantastic movie. Trying to remember what we're doing next. I believe we're doing that Justice Society movie, I think, which I'm hoping is also pretty good. But if you want to just know more about us and what we do, you can go to creatiaworld.com. You go there, you find out all about us. You want to know what my favorite drink is? You go there and find out. You want to know, what Mara's favorite ice cream is? You can go there and find that out. Do you want to know what Matt's Hogwarts house is? Yeah, that's there too. Do you want to know anything else? Like, how many nudes he has on his phone? Is that there? I don't know. You got to go and see. Well, I guess I do know, but you don't know. So go there and find out. CreatiaWorld.com. But also, if you're on the socials, check us out on the socials. Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at It's Creatia World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. As always, I'm not telling you how to spell world. If you don't know how to spell world, get a goddamn dictionary, get your life together. Or if you're watching, just, look right here. Watch the video. You can see it down here. It actually says it right there at the bottom, the whole thing. But we're also on Facebook for you Facebook folks at facebook.com/Creatia World. And while you're there, we got a few groups there. If you're a fan of the Game of the Thrones and the Houses of the Dragons and all them, it's facebook.com/group/them dragons. Go there, drop your Game of Thrones memes, your House of the Dragon memes, or if you just got a cool picture of a dragon, drop it in there. I will like that shit so fast. Yeah, go there. But for you wrestling fans out there, there's also facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw. It's the official Facebook group for our Friday night podcast, Smacking It Raw, where we just, well, not me, because I'm not on that show regularly anymore, but the Warden Matt Ritter, Vince Day Delgado, and Katie Kinsey Bebe are on there every Friday night, midnight Eastern, 11 o'clock Central, talking about that weekend wrestling, recapping it all, and talking about it with you for you all to check out. Believe that's it, besides, the personal stuff. So you know what? Ed Rufus Royster, go ahead and plug your shit one more time. Tell everybody where to find you and where to find all your shit.
Oh, Instagram.com/Art of Rufus. That's probably the most expedited way to find any and all art updates, because that's usually the first place I go to post artwork or videos or even sometimes stuff from my day job. That's probably mainly it, really. I mean, if you want to find me on IMDb, because I have an IMDb page because of my day job. So, but that's just behind the scenes. I'm not like an actor or anything. Maybe not yet. I don't know. Depends on if these acting classes come through. Who knows? You can try to track me down on that. And
I mean, I got film projects that I plan on doing the next couple of years. So, you know, hey.
I mean, if you need somebody to play like I would probably, I think I could pull off a very good Stanley from The Office. So if you need somebody a role like that, I think I can nail that for you. Other than that, I might need the classes for. But yeah, totally. You know,
I mean, you know, I think you can pull off more than you're aware of, you know.
Oh, thank you. Once again, it just depends on the. Just take some time and some practice. That's all. Get out of my own thinking. That's yes.
You're good. You're good. What else you got happen? You got anything else new coming? Anything else you're working on? Anything, you know, that people should be looking forward to?
No, that's pretty much it. Like, if you follow the Instagram, I'll do some traveling this summer to do a couple of different conventions. So hopefully these cosplays, I'll take some time to try to get some cosplays together. I want to get into that world now that I'm mostly moved in and kind of unpacked, depending on some boxes that you might, you know, that might get in the way here and there. I think I'm gonna try to use some of this downtime to either paint and draw or start on some cosplay. I don't know. Maybe actually
cosplay is a fun fun thing to get into. It's also an expensive habit.
Like, very much so. Yes.
Like, it's one of those things I had to like kind of adjust on because I'm not making that sweet corrupt insurance money anymore. So you know, I had to adjust my way of thinking in that realm. But yeah.
I mean, I did the two so far. They were relatively store-bought. I'm still trying to come together with the ones that are in my head to pull together where it's going to be a nice combination of what I'll create versus how much of it I'll buy. But
I do have an idea for something I want to run by you, by the way, but we can talk about that later on. But yeah,
I'm all for ideas. That's another thing. If you come across the Instagram, you got art questions. I'm a former art teacher. I love advising people and giving ideas and being a mentor. If you got questions, I got answers. I hope though, because even if it's art supplies or anything along those lines, I'll be able to figure something out for you. I'm sure.
All right. Also, don't forget you all can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Thanks again, Ed, for being here. I really appreciate it. We will see y'all next time. Until then, we out, y'all.